Hey, this is Matt Whitmer from ORD Precision. In this video, we're taking a look at PX files again and a follow-up to a video we did a couple weeks ago about interactivity in PXs. This time, we're specifically going to look at PX includes and take a look at some of the features that you can make use out of them and why you should be using them in things like your floor plans and stuff like that. So let's jump into Niagara and take a look. All right, so I'm in Niagara now, and this demo playground page should look familiar based on that video from a few weeks ago. And what we're going to be doing is creating some PX includes like these, all of these zone indicators are on this floor plan. So they're all a single PX file that is set up as a PX include, and I've got a bunch of additional options on this PX file that isn't sort of normal for a PX include, and we can add these things in, and a lot of flexibility with the PX includes. So let's get started. So the first thing that we're going to do is create exactly what we want to reuse over and over again. Create that asset on the PX file as we normally would have if we weren't doing a PX include. So in my case, this piece here is just a series of bound labels. We've got some ORDs pointing to the right places, and that's how we're showing our data. So that's what we're going to use as our starting point. So the first thing that we're going to do is I have a folder in my PX directory underneath the files called includes, and that's where I keep all my PX includes. Not necessary, but it's nice to keep things a little bit organized in your files. So I'm going to right click on that includes. I'm going to do a new PX file, and I'm going to call this floor plan include demo. Okay, I'm going to control click on it to open it in a new window. And I'm going to go into edit mode, and I'm actually going to go back over here, and I'm going to copy out this bit of bound labels, and I'm going to throw that up into the top left corner. The next thing we want to do is make sure our canvas is exactly the same size as all of the assets inside. Otherwise, when we drag this PX include into our PX, we're going to have all of this blank empty space that we're going to have to deal with, and it's not a fun time. So let's double click on our canvas. We're going to change the width. I already know what the height and width that I need are. You might need to play around depending on what you're doing. So I'm going to do 55 by 45. Okay, so that's all set up right. And then the last thing that we're going to do is we don't need this scroll pane that's a part of the normal PX file. There's no way that this PX include is ever going to scroll, and that scroll pane is only going to get in our way potentially in the future as we add these in different places. So we're going to right click on our canvas pane, do a cut. We're going to delete the scroll pane, and then we're going to paste back in everything else. So we've got a very, very basic PX include created now. So if I go back to my playground page and I just drag out that floor plan include, you can see it gives me the exact same functionality as those individual group of bound labels, but now it's a single PX file, and anytime I update that PX file, it updates anywhere that PX include is happening. So the next piece is to add our interactivity or add in our variables and our properties into that PX include. So I'm going to go back into the PX include, go into edit mode, and the first thing that we'll do is we'll make use of these what are called ORD variables. So the way that these work is anywhere you have an ORD, you can put in a variable so that when you throw the PX include onto your PX, you can set that ORD for that specific PX include. I'll show you exactly what that looks like in a second, but to set it up, all we're doing is this, $, and then parentheses, and then we're going to give it a name. So I'm going to call this controller because it's the the actual controller that I'm looking at, where I want to make my ORD to. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the hyperlink because that's going to use the same ORD. Hit OK. And then I'm going to do that for this one as well. And then this one, slightly different because we can see it's referencing actually a different ORD than the controller itself. So I'm going to call this value. And then this one is referencing our controller, so I can just use the controller variable again. And then that piece is all set in the px include file itself. You'll also note at the bound words portion, there's no longer any specific ORDs listed there. We only have our variables, and that's what we're looking for. So we'll get out of edit mode, and we'll go back over here to the playground. And you'll see that our px include that we had brought in previously is now broken. It's broken because if I double click it and we look at this variables field, we now have a controller and a value, those two variables that we set in the file itself, and they're empty. So the easiest way for me, just because if you're not being lazy, you're not a true programmer, I'm going to go in here and just copy that location, and then I'm going to go in here to pull out the space temp. And when I hit OK, what's going to happen is all of those places where we had set the variable in the file are now going to get past these ORDs, so all of our value is going to come up properly. So hit OK, and now we've got our zone name and the area it's served by and our value. So those are your ORD variables, useful for a ton of different things. Really, that's the power of a px include, is that you can now take this file and use it for other zones, not just one specific zone. So the next piece is we're going to make use of what are called px properties, and that's what lets us do things like set colors from within this properties window. So I'll go back into my include demo, and in here I'm going to create a px property within the px properties little popover over here on the right. If you don't see that, click up here to your sidebar view options, and then you're just going to make sure that this px properties section is checked. So now I'm going to add in a property. I'm going to call this one BG color, and something that's a little bit unintuitive to realize is that the type of property that we're adding, you would think it would be color, but in actuality, the way the colors are done with labels and such on px files, it's actually a brush that we want. So we're going to set that to be brush, hit OK. And I want to set my default, and that's the value that we're going to set here. I'm going to set that to be the same as this color. So I'm just going to open it up and copy that color out. Go over here, paste that color in, hit OK. And now we need to link it up. So all we did was set this px property sort of variable within the px file itself, but no objects on the px file are using that variable. So we need to make that link happen. So to do that, I'm just going to double click on where that background is, go to the background, right click. There's a link option here. I choose background color, and that's it. Now our background color is linked to this background property within that bound label. So I can now do something like change this color to this blue. You can see that updates here automatically for me. I'll go back to the one we were using before. And if I go back to our playground file and just cycle back and forth, you can see now we have this background color option here at the top. We can set that background color to be anything we want. But you'll note, depending on the background color that we set, text color might not be readable. So we should probably set a text color that we can change as well. So same exact scenario as we just went through. I'm going to create another PX property. I'm going to call it text color. I'm going to make sure it's GX and brush. Hit OK. And for the default, I want it to be white. Okay. And go back in here. And for the text, which is our foreground color, right click, link, text color. Okay. Save. Go back in here. Go to our properties. We now have a text color property. And I can set this to black now. And now I can read it. So if I just do a duplication now, just to show you the true power of the PX include, duplicate it. Now I can just make some quick, simple changes to make this usable across a bunch of zones instead of having a whole bunch of different bound labels and labels that I have to move around and worry about potentially screwing up and misaligning. Been there, done that. Not fun. So I'm just going to change this to something like this. We'll make the text color white. We'll change our zone to be, let's see, 16R and 16R. You can see that I'm actually using a tag to pull in the area served, so that got a little bit hosed up on this particular. The tag isn't set up properly on this particular location, but you get the gist. A lot of options that are available to you from those PX properties and from those ORD variables. Once you get a hang of those things, it makes a page like this floor plan infinitely easier. If you need to go back and make a change, you're making a change of one file, and it automatically will get passed through to all of those other locations without an issue. So hopefully that was informative for you. If there's more you'd like to hear about this stuff, please leave us a comment down below. If you haven't already, like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.